Welcome back to the program. It's officially the last leg of the show this morning. It's been 65 years of impact, of legacy, management, and leadership. And that's talking about the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered. We're joined this morning by the President and Chairman of Council, Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered, Commodore Abimbola Ayuba, retired. Thank you indeed, Mr. Chairman, for coming on the program. And congratulations are absolutely in order for you and the NIM Chartered. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Walk us through that journey. 65 years. Paint a picture, frame a picture for us about the milestones, the achievements that the body has been able to pull through in 65 years.
Thank you very much. The Nigerian Institute of Management was actually founded in 1961 as a management group at the time, and up to 1964 when it was renamed as Nigerian Institute of Management. The group at that time comprised of mainly industrial leaders from the private sector organizations, and maybe a sprinkling of public servants were in it at the beginning. And of course, the focus of the group, which later became the Institute, was to ensure that they encourage excellence in the practice of management. And of course, that spanned all the years up to 2003, when the Institute got its charter under Act 14 of National Assembly of 19th June 2003. And so the charter of the Institute charges the Institute to control and regulate the practice of management in Nigeria in all its ramifications. So that imposed a huge responsibility on the Institute, because when you look at the ramifications of management, it is virtually overwhelming and covers virtually all professions in Nigeria, and in fact globally, as a matter of fact. And so NIM set out to be the source and symbol of management excellence thereafter. And that we have pursued in several ways in terms of programming, capacity building, advocacy both at public and private sector, and also raising the regulating and creating standards in the practice of management all over Nigeria. And that much we've been doing, and only recently we began to internationalize the activities of the Institute. That is, up to last September, we were able to inaugurate UK and Ireland chapter for the purpose of numerous Nigerians that are beginning to cross the border, or say Japa, as it's always recalled, and so that they can continue to tap from the knowledge, and we also continue to benefit from their expertises even across there. And of course, secondly, we also inaugurated the US chapter, which is based in Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana, in the United States. So these two are some of our international footprints that we've established, because we normally run international programs as well, and most of the time we have to fall back to professionals from outside our shores. So we also believe, and when we bring them in, most of the things they bring on board are things that are not really too relevant to the Nigerian situation. So with these chapters out there, we'll be able to keep our resource base and ensure that we're able to get the best of the best, which the Institute has. We have a very solid resource base of expertise from all the professions. And as a matter of fact, the Institute, by the way, is a multidisciplinary, a multi-professional organization, which brings everybody on board. Is the doctors, lawyers, and it's just the largest in Africa that is of the membership organizations that we are, with over 225,000 members as at today. And most times you find that most people are the pinnacle of government today, other members or fellows of the Institute. So one time I just cite one or two.
Let's make progress on the conversation now. Those footprints you've highlighted are indeed noteworthy milestones for the Institute, and again, congratulations would be in order for 65 years of success. And you talked about, some things that can be imported into the Nigerian management space from the experiences of your expansion abroad. Let's now relate it to public institutions in the country. How can effective management make a difference in public institutions? And we can, refer to a number of stories, lack of oversight that resulted in, a fake agency, quote unquote, finding its way into, government processes. We could refer to, a public institution currently that is reported to be defaulting on its, bond payment. Those are real management issues, aren't they? And how can effective management make a difference?
Thank you very much. First of all, to be an effective manager, you must be a professional manager who has imbibed all the levels of knowledge required to work in spaces at different levels of organization. The public service, for instance, has its own rules and regulations which guide it. And of course, examining those documents, civil service rules, for instance, financial instructions, and all the other manuals that guide the public service are very perfect documents. But in terms of the inefficiencies that show up, sometimes it shows that there's probably a problem with the choice of managers that are being thrown up to occupy strategic offices. If you check out the books of the Institute membership groups, wherever our members are, they are able to distinguish themselves because of the level of learning and capacity building that we give to our members almost on a monthly basis. We have different fora where we learn, we relearn or learn, and of course we subject ourselves also to peer review. And when you don't pick the right people with the right character and like the right quality, like 90% of our members have, you choose people based on interest or other considerations, you will find those kind of people in spaces where they are unable to impact positively. But so far, in all our programs, we involve the civil service, the public service. Like I was going to tell you, that even the Secretary of Government of the Federation is a fellow of the Institute. For instance, we involve the public, the Senate President. Yes, the Senate President is a fellow of the Institute. We have people high up in spaces where they exist. The Governor of Rivers, the Deputy Governor are both fellows of the Institute. So many other examples are there. people who have passed through the institute will tell. Even employers give us feedback. And we have migrated from just training managers now to getting involved in youth development and management, so that we are able to continue to mainstream people who will take over from us when we are long gone. So our youth, our NYC strategic partnership is also running smoothly, and there we go to the camps and then train some of the
core members.
Core members, and we bring them in as first as graduate members, and of course they begin to grow along the hierarchy of the institute.
So, sir, let's talk about some specific management practices. Maybe that can help us improve accountability. As a matter of fact, practically, tomorrow we should be hearing from the Minister of Finance and coordinating Minister of the Economy about, how our monies are spent, what accrues to us, and especially the issue of subsidy. One of the things this government has been blamed for. They've been praised on some things, especially the stability of the economy in terms of the macro end, although there's that disconnect between the micro and the macro, is the transparency in the budgeting, overlapping budgets, releases, financing, all of the grammar we speak. So what specific management practice, vaguely or broadly, that you think that we can adopt? Because what we're doing in public finance and public management is to engender public confidence. If you don't manage well, public confidence erodes, and whatever you're doing, no matter well intended, may not have the desired result. So what specific management practice are we missing as a country?
Thank you very much. Over the years, and you mentioned one now, that proper management, application of the best management practices, to a great extent, should shape the outcomes of public, responsible, strategic public institutions like the Ministry of Finance that you just mentioned. We have values that we share, and one key one on top of it is accountability, responsibility, efficiency, effectiveness. So all these pillars are things that we go in and we continue to check. We continue to benchmark institutions, and when they are not doing well, we let them know that they are not doing well. But you see, management and politics run on parallel lines. The best management practices, if you allow it to thrive, is going to throw up even some of the best politicians you can find. But there is a lacuna in picking those who will hold strategic appointments. But some of them also are having, they are actually able to hold their best in the organizations they work in. So it's kind of in the Ministry of Finance, budgeting. Budgeting is a practice which is key, and it must be thorough, and it has all these different models that we need to adopt. But sometimes it looks as if in this country we just cherry pick what models we want to use, and oftentimes the transparency aspect, which is another value that we share, is usually absent from it. There's a lot of opaqueness sometimes in the way budgets, even when they are judged to be well done, are poorly implemented or are never implemented. And this brings that opportunity for graft and sharp corrupt practices, which we abhor, as a matter of fact, in our code of conduct that we read almost every time, we shun corrupt practices and poor ethics at work. And indeed, every event we have, we recite this code of conduct, and we start with that you have to call your name so that you own it. And in your places of work, if you find out that you are not doing well, we will delist you from the membership of the institute. We've done that quite a number of times. I don't want to start mentioning names. But people who have been caught doing or found guilty of some kind of corrupt practices, we have to delist them, and without any fear of contradiction.
That really sounds impressive. It sounds impressive. We have to begin to round off our conversation with you, but I wonder perhaps what you refer to as the major takeaways as you mark your 65th anniversary. We understand there's an anniversary colloquium to mark this day and these historic feats by the NIM. What are the major takeaways for Nigerians?
Yeah, first of all, we are celebrating management excellence in Nigeria, the impact of management on management excellence in Nigeria. And so we are getting the Nigerian public to sensitize them on new approaches and new developments in the field of management. The colloquium is first of all going to be a gathering of intellectuals, and of course that will include all our young managers who will also be involved in this. We also will have our anniversary dinners right this week, Thursday I think, and then incidentally our fellowship award also will be happening this week. We take fellowship awards very seriously in the institute. We don't give anybody from membership. You have to wait for 10 years.
10 years?
Yes, very, very good participation, and while we are there in the 10 years, we are also learning. It's a learning curve for all people who subject themselves to management in Nigeria. So we look forward to having more members. A lot of people have been contacting us, those who have left the institute a long time ago. We want to create the visibility. We want to work closer with the government because oftentimes when we have programs, we come up with some of our critical findings, and we escalate it to government and also other public private stakeholders. And this is what we assist to do and will continue to do.
All right, so let's look at some other issues just before we begin to wind down as far as this comes, because we want to make the most of you being here to make our country better. I know that a lot of the persons perhaps who are in this management institute, the elderly, the younger ones, talk to us how you're bridging that gap, especially with the incoming, the latest developments such as technology, and how the institute is adopting that in its training process to be able to help members to be as relevant as possible in modern day. Let me not say Nigeria, in the modern world.
Thank you very much. We as an institute also we scan the environment and ensure that identify the new new technologies that are available. And the whole of last year, we focused on AI, artificial intelligence, and its impact, the future of work. Within the space of robotics and also to ensure that we also bring our younger population, who are indeed the people that work more, understand tech more. So throughout our programs last year and still continuing, we we bring the impact of technology in the workplace. We continue to examine it and alert government, alert employees, businesses on the threats that robotics may likely impact, and people will lose jobs. Every robot that appears may cost up to 50 to 100 people to lose their jobs. Only yesterday I was watching a program on one of your sister stations or one of our other stations where a robot was seen serving he served 100 cups of tea within 30 minutes from each other. So if the robot is able to do that successfully, then we know that in an eatery, maybe in future, you may just see only one person behind the scenes, and you have to deal with robots. So we try to educate and train, especially our youth population. We try to give them skills in this technology area, and then we have been partnering with individuals, experts who are able to support the institute.
It sounds really interesting and fantastic that you are already taking the lead, the IMC, and bridging that gap and looking into the future. I imagine that there are plans and visions for the next 65 years. Well, we must leave it here. Thank you indeed for your time on the program. Commodore Abimbola Ayuba retired is the president and chairman of Council Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered. Thank you indeed, and congratulations again to you and the IMC.
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks. Morning brief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is the morning brief. Let's take a moment. When we come back, we'll get to see what you are saying on socials. We're back in just a moment, everyone. Please stay with us.